Welcome to Vikings Wolves of Midgard. In this video we are just going to do like a mini review sort of thing for the game, and the only reason I'm doing this is because the game is available through Games with Gold on Xbox until April 30th. I wouldn't recommend paying for this game unless there was a humongous sale on it, because on Steam on PC it's £27. I don't know how much it is on PlayStation, but on Xbox it is £32.50 or £33.50, something like that. It's a very, very expensive game. It's got like a AA price, and it's a good game. I'm enjoying it. I'm playing it with Pete because it's 2-player online, and we're just roaming through. It's a little bit like a Diablo sort of game. It's an ARPG, so an action role-playing game, and you are basically Vikings. So you will have staffs, bows, swords, hammers, axes. There's a decent amount of weapons. One of the things that puts me off is the fact that very early on, you get legendary stuff pretty much just handed out to you. There's not a grind or anything like that to get hold of legendaries. There are other rarities and stuff, and I'm pretty sure at level 2 we got our first legendary, or is level 3, because we've been playing for a few hours now and we're only level 6. But we did also, when we were level 4, have an artifact drop, which cannot be used until you are level 28. So it gave us an artifact very, very early on, which it shouldn't have done. We're playing on the easiest difficulty. We just wanted to jump in and have some fun. We didn't want it to be a challenge, and it seems to be okay. We've done several raids. That's the level layout. We have also done one of the Trials of God, and it was actually a bit of a challenge. The very first one, which is level 2 required, it took a little while. Like, we almost died, almost run out of heals. The thing I don't really like about this game, because it is pretty bare bones, but one of the things I don't like about this is when you select a path, so basically you can go Thor, Odin, they will be paths that are limited to just one weapon type. So I started off the game wanting to be a character that deals ranged damage. I wanted to use bows, and I've ended up just looking at the path, and I thought the best looking one for me personally was Thor's. It's the very top one in the path tree sort of thing. And that will mean that I'm only allowed to get the abilities from that tree whilst I have a two-handed weapon. If I equip a bow or anything like that, I cannot actually use my abilities. So my left trigger is like a whirlwind thing that deals damage to the enemies. X is like an outburst sort of thing. Y on my controller is like a ground smash. All of that stuff will disappear if I change weapon type. Another thing I don't really like about this game is the fact that once you equip runes on your gear, you can't take them off. They are locked to that piece of gear. And it just seems to be a very, very simplistic game. There's not a lot of depth to it at all. As I said, you're getting legendaries very early on. I looked through the reviews on Steam. It doesn't have great reviews at all. People are saying you might as well just go play Diablo. You're going to have a much better experience. But I like the way they've set the game out. The graphics and stuff are nice. The fact that it's 2-player online. I wouldn't be doing a video for this if it wasn't part of Games with Gold until April 30th, because there is no way I would have paid the amount they're charging for it. If I was to put my own price tag on the game, I'm going to say maybe £6 or £8. No more than that at all. I just don't feel it's worth it because there's absolutely no progression in the raids and stuff. You go into a raid, you complete it, they give you a few challenges that are always similar to other ones you've done, so smashing huts or smashing down these totems or things like that. And once you've done a raid, if you can ever go back and do the earlier missions, nothing levels up. It's all just the starting level, so there's no progression through the missions. You basically just have to keep doing the new ones all the time. And I'd say for the golden stuff you get through the challenges, it's not actually worth doing many of them. I would just explore, kill all the enemies, pick up all the blood, and just progress to the boss area and get that raid done. There are a couple of choices at the end of some of the raids. You can either take 5,000 gold for completion sort of thing, or you can choose to have 1,000 gold tributed to you after every single raid. So we went with the 1,000 gold after every raid. We also did the same with iron. I think it was 500 iron. Or 200 iron or something, or we could take 50 for every successful raid. So we took the 50 every successful raid. It just seems to be more beneficial in the long run to do that. Another thing is all of the loot is, I'd say this is a good feature in the most part, all of the loot that drops is for yourself. You can't fight over loot or anything like that. It's all just separate loot drops. That's good, however, that's the same for resources too. So if you smash a barrel and you get a couple of bits of wood, you can't pick them up and they go to your teammate. Your teammate has to run back and pick up that wood as well. And we've also noticed through playing that when a legendary drops out of a chest, you both get exactly the same thing. There's no like RNG in the loot or anything. And some people said that the host seems to get a lot more resources. We haven't found that to be the case. But the thing is, interacting with like the longship that we currently have to do the raids, only the host, so that would be me, only I'm allowed to interact with that and start up a raid. The same with upgrading the altar, because when you're doing your skill paths through the one that I'm doing is Thor, when I'm doing that, you can upgrade the abilities from tier 1 to 2 and then up to 3. 3 is the max. In order to upgrade them to tier 2, you need to upgrade your altar, which is where you sacrifice blood to level yourself up. So you go through the levels, the orbs drop off the enemies, you get double kills and stuff, and you get blood. You take that blood to an altar, and you sacrifice it, and you level up. That's how you level up in this game. You can upgrade the altar, so that you can upgrade the tier on your abilities, and only the host can do it. So me and Pete had around 14,000 gold at the time, and Pete's been able to keep his gold and do whatever he wants with it. I've had to use mine to upgrade the altar, and it upgrades for Pete as well. So that part really, really does get irritating because the host basically gets screwed over. But overall, I'm going to say, based on it being games with gold, it's pretty good. Waste a little bit of time. As I said, we've played for a few hours now. In terms of actually buying the game, I strongly recommend you stay clear for its full price. Like, strongly recommend. I would pick it up in a sale regardless of platform, because Steam's cheaper regardless. I wouldn't pick it up unless it's a minimum 75 or 80% off. I just don't feel what you get is worth the money you're going to have to pay. I mean, it looks good, the gameplay's okay, but it's just so bare bones. There are lots of other options out there for an ARPG. But if you have Xbox, you've got Xbox Live, you can check it out through Games of Gold. It's a 6 gig installation on Xbox, so it doesn't take too long. And I mean, you're going to get a few hours worth of gameplay. You might have some fun in the game, you never know. I just thought I'd bring it to your attention. It's available until April 30th. And I'm probably going to play a little bit more, get a couple more legendaries, see how it feels as I progress through some extra levels. And then I might put the game down, don't know. But that's going to do it for the video. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it.